Welcome back to the 12th episode of Bitch, Why Are We Friends podcast. This is our special Christmas episode. That means we have Santa with us today. Santa.
Hello, friends. How are you?
You're supposed to tell us how we are, actually. Are we naughty or nice?
That's
Which
a good
list
point.
are we on?
Little known fact, I abolished the naughty list years ago.
Oh, really?
With great responsibility comes the privilege of making the world a better place, and I don't care about your indiscretions.
You're telling me this bitch here is on the nice list?
There is only a nice list. Santa cares about genuine kindness. For example, stroking cats in the correct direction and then rubbing their gums. That would be niceness.
Well, we have a lot of questions for you.
I'm prepared to answer all your questions. See if you can stump Santa.
Okay, here we go. Cece?
Okay, it was kind of a weird experience getting all of these questions from people because it seems as though some people have some residual childhood trauma after not receiving, gift X, Y, or Z from their Christmas list.
Santa is always very clear with children that we'll have to see what might be available when they ask for unreasonable things. The thing is, some other child, your neighbor, might be very happy with a puzzle and you want a switch for your computer system. And this can never be adjudicated fairly. So Santa never confirms the request for some ridiculous object. He tells people to enjoy bonbons and to be kind to each other.
So if you don't have a naughty list, do your Christmas companions, do they have anything to do anymore? Christmas companions that you...
The elves do all the heavy lifting. All year they make toys, they load the sleigh, they keep lists of where things go, but they enjoy it.
What about your Christmas companion Krampus? I mean, what does he have to do if there's no naughty list anymore?
Well, some people like to be stuffed in a sack. It's not the sort of thing I'd want, but if you like that sort of thing, go for it.
That's a fair point.
Krampus is for the BDSM community?
Well, it's more specific. He's for the Austrian BDSM community. And Krampus is not very popular in the rest of the world, although I understand Victoria has a Krampus parade. I've always wanted to go. Yes.
Wow. Well, let's just cross our fingers and hope he doesn't show up.
Santa enjoys the companionship of other mythological figures.
Oh, okay, good.
I should say mythical, not mythological. The Tooth Fairy is good to hang with, for example.
Interesting. Now, this is totally unrelated to anything. This is just a question from me. What does the Tooth Fairy do with all those teeth?
Well, they seldom have any gold in them because they're children's teeth. Oh, there's Krampus now. Hello, Krampus.
He looks a little dazed.
I think Krampus has had a lot to drink.
Krampus is not very tech savvy, and he has hooves, so he can't really push the keys.
That's why. I heard something.
Can't you hear me?
Yes, Krampus. We can hear you.
Oh, sehr gut. Sehr gut. Guten Abend, Santa Claus.
Guten Abend, Krampus.
That's an interesting accent. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I guess it's
High alpines. Very high. Like hillbillies in.
That explains the. That explains the choppy connection.
He's coming from the depths of hell.
Right. So,
Ist nicht sehr gut.
No, clearly not.
They're bad.
Okay, well, now that we've got Krampus here,
let's answer some of these questions.
Santa had a young child recently, well, this was a year ago actually, ask him why he wore glittery eyeshadow. And I thought for a millisecond, and I don't like saying things like, oh, I'm so magical, whatever. I said, I like to be sparkly. And the boy, even though he had been homophobic until that moment, seemed to understand that Santa liked to be sparkly.
That was okay. A lesser Santa would have called him homophobic and thrown him over the railing.
Well, a lesser, other Santas?
I mean, I'm still in touch with Belschnickel.
I don't know about this, Krampus.
I'm still in touch with many of the old companions of St. Nicholas.
Do you know about the Slovenian Santa with the hat made of dormice?
Yes, Pelch, whatever, I forget his name exactly, but fur Santa in Slovenian. Pelsa Santa, I can't remember exactly his name, but I do know him. We have talked.
Is that where you get your naughty list?
No, I get that from the man sitting next to you. He makes the list of naughty and nice children and gives it to me. I take the naughty children, put them in a sack, and take their souls to hell. That is the great companion. I am one of the companions, and that is my job. And Santa makes the list, as you would expect from these
That
songs.
was formerly the policy, but
yes, before you went to work for fucking Coca-Cola.
I have abolished the naughty list, and now you just have a list of people who like to be stuffed in sacks.
Yes, and people who like to drink the fizzy soft drinks that used to have at least cocaine in them.
I never subscribed to the Coca-Cola Santa.
I have a question for Santa.
Yes?
Have you ever actually had to put down one of your reindeer? And if you did you eat him?
Well, this is an interesting question. I understand you discussed cannibalism on one of your past podcasts.
We did, actually. Yeah. It didn't upset people the way we thought it might. So please go on. You're in a safe place, in a safe space.
If a reindeer were dead, why would it care about us eating it?
True.
How do your reindeer die? Do they?
How did that reindeer get dead?
My reindeer have never died on me. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if a reindeer died, why not eat it?
Do people ever sit on your lap and tug your beard to see if it's real?
Absolutely. It's a common occurrence. I had one child bring out a tuft of beard, and then he looked at it in his hands and made a face like, darn, I'm in trouble now. But he wasn't in trouble. It hurt a little, but he was curious. I don't mind.
Krampus got him later. I drowned him in a sack and took his miserable soul to hell.
Oh, Krampus. Oh.
It's a common occurrence for children to give the beard a gentle tug. Sort of like that. Just a little, is it?
We had a very off-color question, actually, for you, Santa.
All right.
Well, this is
and
just
as a stalwart defender of the Christian faith, I'm not sure I can put up with liberal slackness of this sort.
Well,
without a drink.
Well, let's just see what Santa says. This person says, Santa, will I still get a present if I'm definitely on your naughty list? The reason why I know I'm definitely on the naughty list is because I'm addicted to masturbation, but I have to dip my dildo or vibes in peanut butter because the stickiness feels good. And I don't tell my roomie I've been dipping my vibes in our peanut butter jar. Can I still have a present?
Wait, can I say one thing here?
Yes.
I thought you weren't going to read that out publicly. We have an agreement.
I didn't know Krampus had a roomie, but if that's you, I'm sorry.
I would say to get the condiments in a hygienic fashion and put them on the things that they're using, and not to worry about the naughty list. That's exactly the kind of indiscretion that Santa just is not involved with. But don't risk giving your roommate or whatever it is, Diplodocus of the blowhole, as Krampus calls it. You don't want that.
No, Krampus drowns children for not touching their genitals.
Yeah.
Use them or lose them.
This reminds me of an important point. You know the whole elf on the shelf craze?
Yes, and
Also
surveillance. There is a question about Santa's participation in that kind of surveillance.
Yeah. It doesn't happen. It's a modern idea, another interpolation into the Santa myth, and whoever made that up is full of nonsense. Under Canadian law, you could never be surveilled in a place you have the right to privacy, and your bedroom is just such a place. So all those elves on the shelves are cheap plastic toys sold to people who want to control their children in unreasonable ways.
Is Santa Canadian?
Well, where's the North Pole?
Yeah, he's part Canadian, part European, part Asian, part Russian.
When you say he's part European, I think what you mean is he's North Polish.
Yeah, he's very North Polish.
Be laughing. It's
Santa make good joke.
All of Santa's jokes are good.
We actually got a question from a young Santa fan south of the border who would like to know if maybe you could retroactively make sure that she passed her bio final.
Oh, an interesting question. You know, Santa himself is not subject to the time-space continuum and can travel at will, but her biology exam was her own work. I don't know how I could mess with that.
Well, also, let us consider time's arrow. I mean, other than the hypothetical positron particle, very few things are posited to be able to travel back in time. Even Santa Claus beats that out of me anyways.
Fair enough. But how about this? Could you, I don't know, cause a flood in the room that is holding the exams now that they're already written? How about that?
I think you're thinking about, like, the Old Testament God is very wrathful and is frequently causing death and destruction and that sort of thing. I make candy. I don't really do that sort of thing.
She's looking for Jesus.
He is the one who makes the naughtiest that he gives to me. I punish the naughty children.
Okay, so that's another question I have then.
Friends.
Because Santa insists that he doesn't do that anymore. So either
He's always said
you're mistaking a list of people who enjoy being stuffed into sacks, or you're getting a list from an imposter somehow. Like clerical errors. Are clerical errors a possibility?
Over time, protocols have changed. And what we used to call the EDS, the early deterrent system, wherein we supplied sufficient deterrent that bad little children might be deterred from their path of evil and would become good, solid citizens. But Santa left us with a Coca-Cola corporation, and now we make our own list.
When Santa was Odin's Skyfather, riding his magical goat, or later his 8-legged horse Sleipnir across the sky, first of all, naughtiness wasn't even a question.
Sleipnir was a beautiful horse.
Those children cared only about dying with a sword in their hand to feast eternally in Valhalla. So I think assigning me to 1939 fables like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or the Coca-Cola Santa or even later, St. Nicholas, frankly, was a pugilist. He punched heretics at the Council of Nicaea, or at least one, and his most famous miracle was taking dead children out of a butcher's barrel where they were pickling to turn into hams and revivifying them. So that Santa is a violent man and a necromancer. I don't really know if I have to answer for his past. I'm telling you, I care about niceness and petting the cat in the correct direction and eating bonbons. What's so complex about that?
Pretty definitive answer. We had one curious listener, fan of yours and hopefully ours.
Of mine?
Sure, yeah.
Definitely not.
Who wanted to know, how is it that either of you really at such a busy time of year have time to join us on this podcast?
Yes,
We're
I
very
told you.
we're very
Well,
flattered.
let
We're
Santa
very,
go first. I
we're
mean,
very
he's the big, famous, important Coca-Cola spokesman.
we're
I am not
flattered and
subject
honored.
to the space-time continuum, as I told you. So I simply do a little Santa reset and we can have a nice chat. 7.5 billion children in the world, and all the ones in North America get presents. That's something I have a problem with, by the way. I want more for more. But I don't have any problem with these questions of time and space and whatever. It's just not relevant to me.
Well, that is a good answer. I honestly thought that it was because you were trying to be more relatable to millennials, but yeah, I mean, if it literally makes no difference
I
in your
would like to say something in
schedule.
favor of what Santa has just said, that once I saw him and his chariot and all the reindeers pass over the event horizon of a black hole and then come out again.
Yes,
Wow.
and when you saw that, that is what is known as the wild hunt. And having seen the wild hunt, it acts as a psychopompus for you. So that means you're going to die, dear fellow. I'm sorry.
Oh, no fair. I suppose it's my time then. Bye-bye.
Krampus out.
Hope it's not right away. Just as I don't approve of the Coca-Cola business, I don't want to be a psychopompus. It's just something that's been forced on me by mythology.
Another thing that's been popping up is people are curious because Santa, you do live up north. You get to see sort of firsthand what's happening with global warming. Some people want to know how is the North Pole? How does it look up there? Has it changed?
Yeah, is it
It's
polluted?
melting. It's melting. Oh, it's beautiful evil.
Well, we are concerned. And the good thing about Santa is mostly he deals with the children. And the children, let me tell you, are not interested in continuing to cause climate change. The children want a better, nicer world with lots of bonbons. And we're working together on that. The polar bears are unhappy. When the ice is insufficient, it's harder to hunt seals. And so they depend on it.
Very hard on the polar bears.
Yes.
But I,
well,
Krampus, am making a certain mission to help the polar bears. I have enlisted the aid of 12,000 barbers, and we are all going with our barber poles and the electric shavers, and we are going to shave the polar bears so that they can take the warmer temperatures. And this is why Krampus is also still relevant.
Yes. Meanwhile, Santa is dumping aluminum oxides into the atmosphere from his sleigh and re-freezing the polar cap. I started doing that, and one of the elves said, well, isn't that, meddling in the climate, and is that safe? And he himself had pitched the idea of styrofoam icebergs for the seals to be on and the polar bears to dine on. And I just pointed out that styrofoam is only going to crumble and make a big mess. My plan, if we don't want those aluminum oxides in the atmosphere, you just wait 1 year. You just stop. And then that lovely layer of snow that went down, it's just there. You have to keep doing it to have it work.
I have to say, I'm sorry, but I have to say that, I'm in my French mode again. You cannot comprehend how many accents Krampus has. Ultimately, he punishes all the bad children, and that is what is special about Krampus. But as I was saying,
something about
yes,
you were about
that
to
you have
respond
effected
to my...
these massive changes in your protocols for the global warming. But the fact of the matter is that before this, every time Santa's sleigh took off, he was destroying 1,000 football fields worth of the ozone field.
Incorrect, Krampus.
I have the geoclimatical evidence, the data,
Doesn't
the
his
meteorological
In the late
evidence.
70s, we knew about how bad fluorocarbons
Carbons,
were. Is it chlorofluorocarbons? Is that correct? I
fluorocarbons.
think it is. And the only place we were making them was the elves just loved hairspray, and they were always making little ringlets and stuff and spraying it, and that's all stopped. Now the elves use dippity-doo to make their curls, just like Cece does.
But the reindeer methane. You have not addressed the reindeer methane.
Well, I only have 8 reindeer. That's not a lot of methane.
9 sometimes.
Well,
When
yes,
it's cloudy.
I told you
Magic reindeer.
about the myth.
But doesn't Santa
Magic
run
methane.
on magic? I mean, doesn't his sleigh sort of run on magic?
Yeah,
Yes,
but
and
also the
cookies. He
magic
eats
methane.
Speaking of cookies, Santa, do you have a favorite
Sorry,
type
who
of
was
cookie?
speaking of cookies?
Santa was speaking of cookies.
Yeah.
I frankly have never met a cookie I didn't like.
Cookies.
Another mythical creature I'm very fond of is the Cookie Monster.
Excellent. No, he's real.
Mythical creatures are real. I am one myself.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So is
sorry.
Krampus.
Santa, this is an issue that somebody brought up. Mommy kissing Santa Claus story. This person says that it sounds pretty creepy, and it sounds like an allegation. Actually, did you actually crawl around in some woman's house late at night and plant a big wet one on her?
You know,
is this a
it's
true
all
story?
about kindness and consent. I suspect this story is about someone dressing up as Santa Claus and assuming the mantle of Santa Claus, kissing his own wife under the tree, and the children observing it. That's my suspicion. I don't recall ever kissing anyone I shouldn't be kissing.
Santa Claus is pure in every way.
How far back do you and Krampus go?
There were various wild man and wild women traditions in Europe. And for example, in Switzerland, one of the wild men, the wild man and the wild woman come down the mountainside around Christmas, and the villagers all come out and they have loaves of bread they've baked to look like children, and the monsters devour them. There's a lot of that sort of thing.
That
in Europe.
saved a lot of
You
children.
eat bread, children,
That saved a
Yes.
lot of children.
with butter?
My appetite for little baby flesh was diminished by the lovely Bunsen rolls.
Or dipped in
Very-
oil and balsamic?
Santa loves oil and balsamic vinegar. It's a weakness of his. If you think about it, so we've gone from demons shoving people in sacks and whipping them to just like the mild reproach of the naughty list. And now I'm telling you that too has been abolished.
Now it's just a dude in a lot of eye makeup who just stuffs people into sacks so that they can have a good time.
If they like that sort of thing, fine with Santa.
I appreciate how inclusive you are, Santa.
So what kind of advice can you two give Cece and I, because we're sort of in a feud, and you guys seem a bit like you are in a long time feud.
Yes. I do have advice for you and Cece. I think what you should do is practice being kind to one another, even when the other one is annoying you. And then
Look at her
later,
fucking face right now. No way.
later you will find that it becomes a habit of mind to treat each other with kindness and respect.
Yes, I also have advice for Didi and Cece.
Well, you've gone a little bit back into your cave. You're sounding a little echoey.
He's down in hell.
I'm
Let's
so
keep that in mind here.
There are caves in hell.
So, Santa, I got a question for you.
All right, dear fellow.
Let's talk about Jeff Dahmer. Just
Oh
when
my
he was a
God.
little boy, 2 years old, what kind of present would you give him?
I would have given him the present of, well, I'm presuming when he was 2, he was already observed being unkind to animals. I would give him the present of close psychiatric supervision and the kindness of all family and friends to him while he underwent that supervision to stop him from even hurting whatever caterpillar he first started out on, because it's been proven that most of these people start with our poor animal friends and progress to the humans, and I would want it never to get that bad.
I would have simply drowned him in a sack and taken his soul to hell, saving society millions of dollars.
And some
Well,
lives.
in this we differ, though, because I do think everyone is redeemable, and those who are not redeemable, the simple solution of closely supervising and helping them to get some kind of control on themselves protects society, and that capital punishment, you see, so often they get the wrong person, and that alone is reason enough not to do it. But beyond that, it's this whole fear of naughty lists and indiscretions and damnation. That's what's got everyone so agitated and psychopathic in the first place. I think we need a kinder, gentler world with no threats of punishment.
I'm still living in the 17th century, and for now I'm going to stay there.
Well, that's all right. Jump in your sack with some of your friends and enjoy it. Lots of people do that. Just decide on your safe words first, and away you go.
Yep. Make sure they also know what your safe word is. Just
My
saying.
safe word is pineapple.
Good to know. Well, it's been very enlightening to have both of you here. Santa, we apologize. Well, not really, but we're going to say we apologize for the ambush, the Krambush.
We brought one of your old buddies to hang out with you.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I love the Krampus very much. I'm just hoping that over time he will learn to sublimate his earlier urges and do better in the world.
Don't we all?
You know Santa's favorite. Santa Claus's the cranberries.
Thankfully, it sounds like Krampus's internet signal is dying.
Well, a lot of the signal carriers won't have that
Transmitted
kind of
from
stuff
anal
on anymore. It's like the anti-vax maniacs. They just go, well, we can't carry this content on our platform. It will only get us in trouble. So bzz, they push the button.
Yeah, Krampus has been online for too long.
Push my button. Push it,
They-
baby.
He's a bit like
Push
Donald
it, baby.
Trump.
I am Donald Trump. Fuck you.
Krampus is being deplatformed as we speak, and Santa is never going to be slain or deslayed or whatever the phrase would be. No.
I would never give money to your North Pole enterprise. Not unless we can erect a hotel.
We don't need money. We have willing workers in the elves and myself. We have unlimited resources of, well, we are always gifted with wood and tin and the things we need to make toys with. And we have a small molybdenum mine. Yes, it's very clean and safe. And the elves work it and they like to.
I intend
What?
a huge
Oh boy.
Can you hear what he's saying? I can't.
it's a tirade of some kind.
There's a lot of farting noises.
We need a huge wall between us and the North Pole.
I see.
Oh, that's Donald Trump still. The wall around the pole.
Yeah.
Krampus Trump.
Donald
Have you heard about
Krampus.
the small island that both Denmark and Canada claim? And on alternate years, either the Canadian Navy or the Danish Navy They go to this remote island, and they, under the cairn, they leave a bottle of their favorite national spirit. And that's the extent of our war. Oh, and they maybe put up a little flag or something. But I like that kind of war, where everyone agrees that it's an undecided matter and they just like to just wiggle their feelings under the other one's nose once in a while, but in a friendly way. And Christmas is like that. You know, you pull the cracker, you get the hat and the bad joke, you read the bad joke, you look at the plastic ring or whatever you got, and it's not great, but it's kind of a festival of look at the crap I got, look at the crap you got, it's all crap.
It's been so wonderful. And I know that you are able to, do your own thing with time and all that, but still.
Well, Santa appreciates when people take the time to spend time with him. Friends, in this season when so many people, the only seasonal thing they feel is depression, reach out to others, have a hot cup of tea together, be kind, bring a bonbon or two, and you will find the world is a nicer place.
I think that's the perfect sentiment to end this episode on, and before Krampus gets back. So
Yes, exactly. Oh God, he's coming back.
He's back. I can hear him.
Peace, love, and bonbons.
We'll see you all after the holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.